Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Mart. I am Jason in Kirkwood, Missouri, and on Route 66, and there's lots of history to be seen here. And let's be real, Kirkwood is not really a tourist destination as far as, for Route 66 travelers, but I thought I'd come share some of the history that it's proud of because, people from all around the world and around the United States are going to be getting their kicks on Route 66 all year round for the centennial of 2026, and Kirkwood is no exception of those towns. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you some history about the first planned suburb of Missouri. Here we go. And that is correct. Kirkwood is one of the first planned suburbs, if not the first. Now, it is west of St. Louis in St. Louis County. There is some dispute that it is the first planned suburb of west of the Mississippi River, but I'm not really quite sure about that one. I'll have to get back to you. But Route 66 does cross through Kirkwood 3 times, and I'll show you on that sign over there. So what we're looking at are two different alignments. Now, this right here is normally known as Lindbergh Boulevard for most of it. It is highways 61 and 67. And then that way, the stoplight is Manchester Road. That is Missouri Route 100. That is the original alignment of Route 66, 1926 to 1933. And then south of the city of Kirkwood is the 1932 to 1977 alignment. But there's really not much history there. But this is the bypass of the city Route 66. Goes by different names. So yes, US 67 does go through this town, as well as it goes all the way to Lambert Airport. And then the old Route 66, you turn right on Dunn Road and it parallels Interstate 270, as does this. Confused? I know, a lot of explanations here. But there is plenty to see in Kirkwood. The population is close to 30,000, but to be precise, it is 29,461. That's as of the 2020 census. And Kirkwood dates back to 1852, mainly because of the newly built railroad. The city was named after the railroad chief engineer James Pugh Kirkwood, which we're going to learn about at the station. There's also some other attractions here that are on and off Route 66, such as the Museum of Transportation, about 4 miles. There's the Magic House. St. Louisans love this. They call it the best children's museum ever. I haven't been there since I was a little kid, but if you do have a family, that's a great place to go. So what I'm going to do is go down that way and take you into downtown Kirkwood, where all the action is. Here we go. And right over there is the Kirkwood Train Station. I did not know this before coming here, but it's under construction right now. So that is, I don't know how long the construction's been going on or when it's going to end. But yes, that is normally the Amtrak station. It is the first Amtrak station as you're going from St. Louis to Kansas City, coming from St. Louis. And this is the third busiest one in Missouri. It carries the Missouri River Runner, which I've ridden before. Pretty cool. But there's a plaque on there that talks about the history of this spot, which says in 1852 this land was obtained from Owen Collins by the Pacific Railroad for a right-of-way, and in 1863 a frame depot was built. Members of the first school board met to draft the charter of the Kirkwood School District, which was granted on February 17, 1865, 3 days before the ratification of the town charter by the state of Missouri. This building dates back to 1893, and it was built by Douglas Donovan, a Kirkwood general contractor. This has been used for celebrations. Many wedding photos get taken here. Well, whenever it is up and running, that is. And there's a historical marker, or there was, I don't know if it'll be restored once it gets done, but there was something about James Pugh Kirkwood, the namesake of the town, or the city. And while I'm here, I might as well talk a little bit about James Kirkwood. He was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, immigrated to the United States in 1832, and was appointed resident engineer for the Western Railway of Massachusetts, which later became the Long Island Railroad. He won recognition for the rapid construction of the Great Staruka Masonry Viaduct on the Erie Canal in 1847, after which he became the railroad's general superintendent. Kirkwood came to St. Louis in April 1850 to be the chief engineer for the Missouri Pacific Railroad. His task was to lay down a route from St. Louis to the western border of Missouri. and that he did. And one other thing worth noting is there's also, in addition to this town or city, there's also Kirkwood, New York, which was also named after James Kirkwood. Bet you didn't know that. So just right off Kirkwood Road is Argonne. I hope I'm saying that right, or Argoni. But there are a lot of small businesses and local chains you gotta check out. There's Peacemaker Crab, there's Four Hands Brewing Company. Over here, dance studio, fire station, you name it. And here's an old train caboose. So right here on Argonne Avenue is this old building that once housed Coulter Feed. It is now, I believe it looks like a craft store, but this is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It was built in 1912. It was to house Joseph Coulter's feed business. Coulter was an alderman for Kirkwood in the 1920s. And it has a ghost sign. Hopefully you can kind of see it. It's underneath the windows, but on top of the windows it says, you know, White Site, 1912 Coulter. Wow. And hay grain, flour, and feed mills. I'm sorry, flour. I'm really getting bad with reading ghost signs. And this right here is Clementine's Ice Cream. This used to be an old service station back in the day. I'll give you a better view. But yeah, check out the architecture on that. And here's this 12-foot Route 66 sign, which is just right across the road from the old train station. Behind it is the temporary train station where Amtrak passengers can hop on or hop off. But yeah, these are popping up all over the place. This was installed early December of 2025. I believe this is the most easternmost one of all these sculptures there. Yeah, they're really cool. They're all over Illinois as well. So yeah, don't be surprised if these come to a place near you. And obviously it's a great photo op for the family or for any Route 66 traveler. And what do you know, I just happened to be here when Amtrak is boarding, stopping traffic for miles. But they're actually headed that way to St. Louis. I guess they were coming straight from Kansas City or Jeff City. And as you will figure out driving through Kirkwood, a lot of it has been redeveloped in a good way, I suppose. I mean, it looks so high-end. I mean, especially the Station Plaza, where you'll find Salt and Smoke, a very excellent barbecue joint, which you can find all over St. Louis. There's also Poke-a-Doke, some good poke if you like that stuff. Caldi's Coffee, Pilates, and right across the road is Kirkwood City Hall, where there's a special memorial. And right by City Hall are veterans memorials, as well as the memorial about an incident that happened on February 7th, 2008. A gunman went on a shooting rampage at a public city council meeting, leaving 6 people dead and a 7th injured. There's a lot of details I can go into, but this path is dedicated in honor of the fine public servants who lost their lives in service to the community. And it seems that 2026 is the year of anniversaries and centennials, like Route 66, and of course the greatest country on earth, the United States. Well, 250 years, but Kirkwood Public Library is also celebrating its 100th anniversary. Happy birthday, guys. And now we are at the point where I'm going to eat lunch at Spencer's Grill. This has been around since 1947, as it proudly advertises. It was started by Bill and Irene Spencer. It's been through multiple owners. The last time this place was sold was 2 years ago. It had temporary closures here and there, but it is open for business. The clock is not right there, but it's always great to have a classic sign there. And before I go in, I'm just going to see what it says on the front of the outside of the place. Yep, it advertises, of course, the 100 years centennial anniversary of 1926. What was popular that year? Dozen eggs worth 55 cents. Sporting highlights, the St. Louis Cardinals, oh yeah, won their first World Series. On the radio was Al Jolson, Gene Austen, and Ben Selvin. Of course, TV was not invented yet. The world population hit 2.0 billion. US Route 66 was created. America celebrated its 150th anniversary. Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio becomes Walt Disney Studios. Winnie the Pooh was published. NBC was launched. A lot of good stuff happened that year. Now please keep in mind, always check the hours. This place usually closes at 2 p.m. so it's not open for dinner, but breakfast is served all day, so if you have a hankering for an omelet or pancakes or waffles or whatnot, or a slinger, which they specialize in. They also specialize in hamburgers, such as the Juicy Lucy. And they do sell shirts here, like the Route 66 anniversary. And on that note, let's go in. Alright, I got what they call the Oklahoma burger. It's got onions, barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's, local favorite. And I asked for the double with fries. And believe me, I am ready to chow down on this. Here we go. And for those of you who are into old-time movie theaters, that is the old Kirkwood Cinema. It was once known as the Osage Theater, which once sat 642 people. It opened in 1932. And it's just about a few blocks south of the shopping district in Kirkwood. But it was really, I don't want to say it was mediocre, but it has a long history. It's changed hands plenty of times. But the last movie was shown in 1999. It became a children's theater, but it is now pretty much office space and lofts. So, but they left the Kirkwood Cinema sign up.